In this video, I'm going to be working on teaching Rhett to target this cone on the ground. So he's already targeted the handheld target, and now I want him to touch the cone on the ground. So he starts to touch it, or he starts to bring his nose down and then touch it. I'm going to click and reinforce. So if he were more hesitant to actually touch the cone, I would want to click and reinforce for him just looking at it, for him just barely bringing his head down, kind of orienting to the cone, and then build it up until the point where he wants to actually touch it. Because some horses might be afraid of it, or they just might not know what it is that you want. A lot of horses trained with traditional methods are trained not to offer behaviors, so that's something they're not going to do. They're probably just going to stand there and not know what to do. So, or they might be afraid of the cone. That might be another reason as well. So, building up those little baby steps and then reinforcing the whole way. So he's totally fine with that. So he's getting the idea to actually touch the cone. So I just want to keep reinforcing him for doing that. And now that he's offering that behavior of touching it, then at that point I can start adding a cue to it. So here he kind of pauses, he chews like right there before, as he's bringing his head down to touch the cone. I could say target or touch or cone or whatever voice cue that I want. So be target, he's going down, he's touching it, click, feed. And that's how I would start teaching the voice cue for any behavior as it's beginning to start. But specifically in this scenario, that's what I would be doing. So, and the horse has to be offering that behavior pretty consistently before you start doing the voice cue. So here would be target, and then he'd go down, touch the cone, and then I would feed him. And then over time, I would start just reinforcing the times where I've asked him to touch it with the voice cue and not just when he touches it on his own. At this point, this is I think the first session he's done this, so maybe not necessarily today in this session, but maybe the next one or the next couple. So, but he's doing well with this. For a horse that's never really seen it, he caught on really fast, and he understands that when he touches the cone, good things happen. So, so we'll give him a second. He might look at something. So I'd say target, and then he'd go touch it, click, and then feed. So yeah, that looks really good. A really nice, pretty much perfect first session would look pretty much like this. And again, other horses are going to be different. Like if you watch the Mustangs version, it takes more time for them. So now we're going to work on the backup. So this is my handheld target, and we've done a little bit of this. But now I've moved to a different location, so I want to show him that we're going to do the same behavior just in a different place. So I'm going to show him the target. He's kind of losing sight of it. This is not necessarily the best target. I do now have a bigger, an actual target that's made for horses and other animals, that it's big enough for them to see. And then I also have, before I got that, I've been using just the end of a pool noodle, like a piece of pool noodle, maybe 5-6 inches long, that I put on the end of this dressage whip so that they can see it a little bit better, because I've been having this issue with some of my horses, because obviously this is just a little handmade thing, because I just have a dressage whip that I cut the end off and then I put vet wrap on it. So it's not super easy for them to see, unfortunately. So I'm going to work on having him back, and there we go. So he is getting it, but it's taking him a little bit longer than it would if I had a proper target. So that's just something to think about when you're picking your targets. So I'm going to move the camera because I want him to kind of back through my wash rack area. So I'm going to present the target and have him see if he can follow it here. Yeah, I definitely need a different target because I shouldn't be moving it that many times before I'm getting the behavior. But as he starts rocking his weight back or taking a step back, that's when I'm going to click. So here is his target, so click here and then feed. And he catches on to this really fast too. I think he's only done this 1 or 2 other times where we've been backing up with the target. And now here he's already offering me 2 steps on his own. That's a great thing that he's understanding the lesson. So you can see from the beginning of the lesson where he was like, oh, I'm not really sure, I don't know if he sees the target, to now he's offering multiple backup steps. So that's fantastic. Give him a second to chew, and then I'll kind of talk through adding the cue to the backup. So I'd ask the backup cue here. So I believe I'm doing that on the camera or on the film as well. So I'm asking him to back, and then he's starting to do it on his own. So he's backing up without the target. So he's already associated. So I've been saying the backup cue while I've been using the target, and now he's understanding that sound when I say back up or back means to back up. So he's caught onto this really, really quickly. So I think this is his 2nd or 3rd time asking to back up with the target. So this is how quickly you can teach his behavior. So he's offering that back up, and all I'm doing is saying back right before he offers that. So as soon as I'm thinking he's about to go backward, I'm saying back, he's backing up, I'm clicking and reinforcing. So that's how I'm teaching that behavior.